kulingana na vile nimepanga, kila kitu itakuwa sawa.
How do we get rid of my uncle Mark? Like completely, yani tumtoko picture mbaya.
So what's your point?
My point is una behave ni kama una bwana.
Because I don't have one. Your one sorry excuse of a man. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Wewe ndio wazimu.
Kulingana na Dr. Mutua, anasema Mark ako na ugonjwa wa akili.
Uko ready kufanya anything unachotaka as long as we get to be a family again.
We can make a deal, Mama Felix.
What deal?
Kenya itainuka, Kenya itasimama, Kenya itanawiri kwa umoja au uzalendo. Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo. Je, wewe? Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo daima. Welcome to Sema na Spokes, Bonga na Gava. Sema na Spokes? Sema na Spokes? This is our 6th edition and the 3rd in partnership with Y254 and KBC Digital and KBC TV. And let me tell you manze, hii show iko na watu wengi sana wana watch. Last week nimeenda huku Eldoret, nasimamishwa na MC mmoja wa Nandi. Editor wangu wa newspaper moja nakuwa nikiandikia na niambia may watch the last 2 episodes. Yani kuna vile mpaka already shakuwa nominated for an award, Bobea Awards 2025. Na bado imefanya only 5 episodes. Hiyo inamaanisha hii ndio inaitwa the grace. 5 is the number of grace. Sasa leo hii tuko na nini katika Gava? Mwanzo tunatoa rambirambi tena kwa jamaa, ndugu na marafiki kwa sababu ya Albert Ojwang. Na hiyo story inaendelea hivyo. Sasa DIG Lagata step aside. So tuache IPOA ifanye kazi yake vizuri, na pia bunge kwa sababu wameshaanza vile vikao. Tuache stories za jaba na mastori za nini, ma conjecture hivi tuachie hapo. Pili, unaona sasa hii maneno ya kwenda nje kutritiwa. Sasa that will be a thing of the past kwa sababu tuko na 256, sio 254, 256 CT scanner AI ambao inasaidia kusave 14.7 billion. Ndio watu waweze kutritiwa hapa, sio kwenda huko ngambo alafu wanalipa bei kubwa. Hiyo Ministry of Health imefanya, na pia kuna dawa za kutosha za HIV. Ukicheki kama Nevirapine imejazwa kule Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Hospital, imejazwa tu hivi for 7 months. Kwa hivyo si zile study watu wanasema kuna dawa za wale watu wako na HIV na ni ndugu wetu. Na pia tunafanya kama Gava development kila mahali, si ati ni story tu ya hapa na kule. Ukicheki kama Yata na Machakos, kuna miradi ya 1.6 billion. Moja hapo iko hii last mile connectivity ya 6,500 households wanapatiwa nini? Stima. Ndio waweze kujisaidia mambo ya kama ni shule na masoko na kadhalika. Yote Gava inafanya nini? Hata tulikuwa huko Rusinga, and a big hi to Rusinga Girls High School. Tulikuwa na nyinyi na mwalimu wenu Linet Sigei, tukafurahi sana, tukaona shule yenu na mkasema pia nyinyi wa Kenya wazalendo. Tumekuwa huko na Ulugi BMU wakiongozwa na chairman wao msee wa nguvu sana. Tukaenda pia pale Kogalo BMU, tumezunguka. Tumekuwa pia International Day of Albinism, tulikuwa naye kule Eldoret, mama wa taifa, Mama Rachel Ruto, na pia yeye ndiye amekuwa mgeni wa the Day of the African Child. Kwa hiyo mambo iko poa sana kwa sababu unacheki serikali inafanya mambo ya rights ya watoto. Unacheki mambo hii ya kusema sure budget iwekwe, planning iwekwe. Ndio tuko na hii story ya chemist, ndio tunajua kila mtoto ni nani hiyo, na pia vitabu 9.9 million zimepatianwa. So leo tuko poa kabisa. Tunataka kuzungumzia masuala kuhusu the Day of the African Child. What are the rights of the African child? Stay tuned. Tuko pamoja katika hii show ya Sema na Spokes. Sema na Spokes.
Bonga na Gava.
Keep it right here.
The Day of the African Child is a moment to reflect on the progress made in protecting and empowering children across the continent. In Kenya, the day was used to push for the inclusion of children in development. The national celebration was held at the Unoa Primary School in Makueni County, where the First Lady championed the rights of children.
Just as we learned how to count, save and invest our matalio, so we must ensure that every policy, every shilling and every program for children is carefully planned and accounted for, empowering them to claim their rights and shape Kenya's tomorrow.
Africa's aspirations towards eradication of poverty, development of human capital and economic growth cannot be achieved without directing a country's investment in children.
In Kiambu County, the celebrations were held in Kikuyu Township, where Chief Magistrate Stella Kanyeri stressed that, despite constitutional promises since the year 2010, children still face poverty, harmful cultural practices and limited access to basic services.
Zile changamoto ambazo tunaonelea hivi sasa zinawakumba watoto ni kama zile issue za umaskini. Pia kuna ile issue ya kuwa na lack of access to education, lack of access to healthcare, nutrition, negative culture kama zile FGM, early marriages, LGBT na climate change, na maneno kama exploitation kama hiyo ya online venye mtoto ameweza kusema.
Kanyeri urged for a stronger legal framework and better resource use to protect children's rights. Alvin Kaunda reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Leo hii, we have a very special guest. And she is going to tell us her name, what she does. Yeye ndiye anashughulika kama stories of the rights of our children. Na sio mwingine bali ni PS Karen Agengo, the PS for State Department for Children Affairs, Children's Services. Tupigie makofi. Karibu kabisa, PS. We want to know one or two things about you. I mean, over to you.
Thank you, Spokes. So as you have heard, my name is Karen Agengo. I'm the PS for Children Welfare Services. I was appointed on 17th of April this year. I'm just exactly 2 months.
Only 2 months?
Only 2 months.
Yani na ndio kuona courage, tunakuona kila mahali, tumekuona kwa kipindi, tumekuona jana mulikuwa na First Lady huko Makueni jana. Yani you are all over the place, man.
Yes, you know, I was appointed to do the work for children and also as an expert.
So you are an expert in children matters?
An expert in everything.
Oh yeah, makofi hapo. Are you a mother? Are you?
I am a mother. I'm a mother of one son.
Oh, beautiful.
And so I have this experience on for children.
Of children. Now tell us.
Talking from
the show era.
From experience.
Yes.
I have a 30-year-old son.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And the way you look here.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought you are. Hata naona watu wengine kwa audience hapa, they can easily get mchumba kama you know, lakini lazima wa up game yao kidogo, si ndio?
Yes.
So PS, tell us, who is Karen Agengo? Away from being PS and the officialdom, wewe ni nani? Where were you born? How were you raised to the point umekuja mpaka kwa kuja kwa PS?
So I was raised somewhere in a place called Kisumu West constituency, and I went to school.
Which village? Wacha mwambia constituency. Tuambie kunaitwa kwenu, kunaitwa
This place is called Kisumu Village.
Kisumu.
Is
the real
West
name for
Kadawa Village.
Kadawa Village.
Yeah,
wow.
So this is a place right in the.
Na hii Kadawa ni ile ya tobacco ama ni gani?
Actually, it's medicine.
Not
really tobacco. This is a place where you know, the traditional medicine.
So ukitwa odawa ni mtu wa medicine.
Yes, mtu wa medicine. You can get healed from this local herbal medicine.
So that is why you are here to heal children. You are here to heal children.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Makofi tena hapo. So how did you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up in that village and I went to school there. And
where? Which primary school? Watu wanataka kusikia.
School is called Luala Kadawa Primary School.
At Luala Kadawa?
Luala Kadawa, yes, primary school.
Yes,
so
yes.
I will invite you very soon so that we go and motivate the
children there.
The children in that school so that they can see one of the, RPS came from
that, there, isn't that
very school.
Wacha we upiga makofi. So after Luala Kadawa Primary School, ukaenda wapi?
Yes, I went to a high school which is called Nyakach Girls.
Oh,
it's
Nyakach.
In Kisumu County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Nyakach is in Nyakach area.
So during my time, girls were very few in primary school, and so I happened to be, I was among the top in the school.
Wow. And among the top in your prime in
so some girls dropped along because they couldn't continue with their schooling.
But let me ask you,
I'm
PS.
one of the few that.
But let me ask you a question, PS.
Yes.
And just tell us, what did you want to become? What was motivating you to fight and not to drop off like other, girls?
I think I had a lot of support from my parents. Both my parents, from beginning, my father was very, very strict when it comes to education. My family is a family of 32 children, and I am number 30.
32?
It's a very unique family. You'd hardly get it.
So your father?
So I am number 30 in that family.
So 32 children.
Yeah.
So one father, how many mothers? How many wives?
Those days they could get many, so there are 4.
4 of them?
Yeah.
So each one of them on average of 8 of them?
Average, yeah. My mother had 11 children.
11
so
children.
I'm number 10.
Number 10, but number 30.
Yes.
Wow.
So,
and you come out of that to become a PS.
And you can imagine this great man educated all these children.
All of them.
And so the focus was on the education.
Is that now the Agengo man?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Agengo Kadawa,
Kisumu. We call it Kisumu. Yeah. So what happens is that they focused on my parents, especially my dad, his focus was children should go to school.
Okay.
While other parents were not really keen on their children going to school, and you can imagine he managed to take all of us to school, 32 children.
32 children.
And yes.
So after now, Nyakach High School, and then how did you
perform? So I went to University of Nairobi.
University of Nairobi?
Yes,
I
studied Bachelor of Education.
Wonderful.
My area was mathematics and accounting. So
Hallelujah,
I love figures. Yeah, so I am a person of figures, and now you understand why I relate well with this issue of budgeting for children.
Yes, and now the theme for this year is planning and budgeting for children. Wow. And so you are the right person to be there with the right theme.
Exactly, to think about how do we budget for children.
Yes.
Budgeting involves figures, and it also involves looking at other aspects for you to come up with, financials that can help children on the ground.
Wow, now tell me now.
Yeah.
After University of Nairobi, your work life, your family life, in a nutshell. So
yes.
Yeah,
so I told you I have a family, and yes, I have one son who is 30 years.
Wow.
And I'm hoping to have many more children, because now I'm in the field of foster parenting, and I'm looking forward to adding more additions in my family.
Oh, wonderful. We want to raise more Kenyans.
Yeah,
so
because
tell us about,
I've realized there are many children out here in the children institutions that really deserve a family setup.
Tell me, PS.
Yeah.
So this is what has happened now. Just in a very brief manner. So after University of Nairobi, where did you go to work? Did you go to teach? How, if at all, did you transition to other kind of jobs?
Yeah, so
because I think there was a time I think you were working for KRA.
I actually. I've worked in KRA before I was appointed as the the principal secretary. I worked in KRA for 23 years.
23 years?
Yes, that was my first...
Commissioner for, is it domestic tax or what?
Yes.
Because I could find your name somewhere in those papers, many.
Yeah, we met some times back.
Yes.
So I was in the tax administration for many years.
Yes.
And so this is really a good change, having dealt with tax matters. But I understand from the budget point of view, we are talking of budgeting for children. After budgeting, where do you get the money? Money must be raised from the KRA side. So now I do understand how, I mean, where we get the revenue. So if I'm talking of budgeting for children, I also must consider, do we have that revenue that will finance that budget?
The cost.
Yes.
So, but did you go straight to KRA after your university?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Now, so you work for KRA, then after that is when you were appointed PS?
Yes, I worked in KRA. KRA, there were very many departments where I worked in, you know, to be able to...
Rise through the ranks.
To get more experience, you don't stay in one line. So I worked in various departments, audit, domestic tax department has various departments. I was part of dispute resolution. I work in a legal department, and many people asking whether I studied law, and yes, I also did investigations work. So the work of children, you know, requires also working with the DCI a lot. So when there'll be issues of investigating cases, I understand how we need to protect our children as witnesses. So my experience is vast in I've done a lot, and also I've done consultancy with the World Bank as I was working with KRA, and also sharing my experience with different countries to help them in the tax administration.
Now, let's now come to now. You are appointed the PS, you know, for children, you know, services and welfare, children welfare and services. Of course, it's only 2 months, but you already are up and running. Because some of these jobs, you know, they don't really have kind of orientation. You swim into it. So what is your vision for this state department? It's a new state department.
Yeah, my vision is to ensure we have a safe society for our children. So I want to strengthen child protection in Kenya, because I have realized that our children are exposed to many dangers. And if we do not protect them at this particular moment, then we will have children that are having issues in the society, and we will tend to have a conflict, a country with conflict. You have seen recently what is going on with agencies. If we do not protect our children at the family level, meaning taking care of them, then there will be a lot of issues in these children when they grow up to be adults. And so my focus is to strengthen child protection and also enhance child participation, involving children in all decisions that we make, so that they feel...
PS, let me ask you, do you really think you can involve children in decision making?
Oh,
Are
yes.
they old enough to make such kind of decisions?
Yes, children.
Really?
Children, I can tell you today, if we have somebody in this room who was in Makueni, we have children and they told us what they want. And if you don't listen to the children, then they will overtake you, because they will, children who feel that you don't listen to them will run away.
What do you have to say about the fact that people are asking that nowadays children are very insolent, they are not respecting their parents, they are feeling that they have their rights, and so therefore nothing can be done to them? Not like the way we used to even be so respectful to our elders.
You know what? We are growing in a society where the children now know their rights. These rights are provided for in our constitution. We put them there in Article 53 of the constitution, that they have rights. These rights are so many: right to basic education, right to health care, right to be heard, and right not to be discriminated. So you find if you try to discriminate against a child will tell you no. So what we need to do as parents is to listen to these children, because some children are running away from home, going to another place because they feel the home is not safe. But we have parents who are listening to their children, and their children feel safe at home, and these children will grow and thrive in this society because they have people who can listen to them. So we need to listen to our children and not see them as people who are just trying to...
Thank you.
Yes.
I think that's fine. So in a nutshell, what has Kenyan society or the government achieved for the African child? If you can just give a rundown from yesterday's event in Makueni, and even having been in the department this far.
Yeah, having been in the department for 2 months, I have learned and also looking at what the government has done in the past, and not only during the period I've been there, the government is currently concentrating especially on the vulnerable children. We are calling them orphans and vulnerable children.
OVCs, yes.
OVCs.
There's a very robust program for cash transfer, yes?
We have a cash transfer, and currently more than 400,000.
400,000?
More than 400,000
wow.
Families. I'm talking of families, not children.
No, so that is to mean if you multiply by 4 or 5.
So average put even 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are talking of more than 1 million children.
1.2 million children.
Yeah.
Wow.
More than 1 million children are benefiting
directly
through this
or indirectly.
Yes, because there is a cash transfer to their families,
to the household,
and the family can buy food.
Okay.
The children can go to school.
Yes, yes.
And so this is...
How much do we give per month?
Currently it is 2,000.
Okay.
You may think 2,000 is too little because probably your salary or something like that, those who are here, sometimes are getting quite some amount. But let me tell you, 2,000 can really touch the life of somebody who doesn't have.
Okay.
And you can see even the older persons, the same amount, how it is changing their lives.
Okay.
So we do have that cash transfer program. And apart from that, we also have a nutritional program. We are calling, we are working with the World Bank and UNICEF, and we have a program called Niche.
Niche. What does Niche stand for?
Niche is a nutritional support program that takes care of children below 36 months.
Okay.
So if you are a mother and you are, most of them are also not, it's an inclusion, economic inclusion program for people who cannot afford. So we look for those who are extremely poor and they have young children, so they'll be given some support on top of the 2,000, and so they help to use this money for buying food for the young ones, because we know that a child who is below between 0 to 36 months, that is when a child grows.
Okay.
And so it helps them on nutrition.
Thank you very much, PS. Nafikiri utakunywa kopo la maji pale kidogo. Tuende kwa break kidogo.
Yes.
Hii ni show ya Sema na Spokes. Sema na Spokes. Keep it right here.
Nimeua mtu kweli?
Haujaua.
Alafu basi nipeleke pole pole. Wote niongee na huyu. Lakini unapatanga advertisement, si ndio?
Sasa advertisement ikitokea kama haoni atajuaje?
Please, I'm not asking you. Why do you vacuum people in the stomach? Which? The English now is coming out. 50,000 pocket money. Mtoto ende tiari.
Hiyo ni kama si ni change kidogo, pesa kidogo ambayo naweza.
Umesikia market that kwa.
The men and women in boats, their core mandate to defend and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of Kenya. Their bravery knows no limits.
Make a man go through the wall without breaking the wall. Laziness, it is not in our vocabulary.
But what are their stories, their tales? Military Tales, every Saturday at 9 p.m. with Ben Troy and Joey.
Welcome back to Sema na Spokes.
Bonga na Gava.
Now, PS, I think you were telling about the benefits. You told us about the cash transfer. You told us about the issue to do with Niche program. Which other 3 or 4, benefits are there or that we have achieved as a government to the children of Kenya?
Yes, in addition to what I've said, we have the presidential bursary.
Okay.
For the vulnerable children. The focus is on the vulnerable people first. So again, this financial year, we have 400 million, which is going towards education of the vulnerable children through a bursary program. This is being managed through the State Department of Children Welfare Services.
So how does someone access the 400 million?
So this 400 million, we have decided that in this country we have constituencies, so it's managed through the constituency. We do have advisory committees where one of the members is a representative of the MP. So we distribute this money equally among the constituencies through the MPs. But what we do is that the MP will choose a representative, and then we also have our government administration, the GAO, will also have a representative, and then there's a representative from the children's department. We have children officers who are located all the way to the sub-county. So a children officer will be part of this committee, because on the ground they can identify who is the child who is in need. So, and they will confirm, plus the families of this child. So they come up together as a committee. Parents will do the applications. They do, through the chiefs, they are informed about this bursary, and then they will make an application. The committee will review the application, and a child that is deserving will be given school fees for 30,000 to support them for their secondary education.
For a whole year.
Yes.
Makofi hapo, I think that's a lot of money.
And once a child is in the program, they'll continue to get until they reach high school. When they complete, then a new team will be brought on board.
So Wakenya mnasikia hiyo story, tuko na 30K hapa, una apply kupitia chief wako, inakuja all the way 400 million equally distributed, so that is equal opportunity. Usikose hiyo opportunity. Which other program do we have?
That means a constituency with a higher population may have in terms of the number of children. Remember that the 30,000, if you have more, then a higher percentage will not. Can I say the percentage we'll get will not be higher compared to a constituency that has lower population. But I want to comment on this bursary because what happened, this budget that has just been read, it has been reduced, and so we are looking into the next supplementary budget where we will convince our National Treasury that we do not want to reduce this amount because this amount may affect the children that are already in school. We presented our case, however, we still believe that in the next budget, supplementary budget, we'll be able to get this to support the vulnerable children.
Okay. So, Madam, that's the bursary program, the presidential bursary. Which other program? Maybe one or two in a minute or two?
Other programs that we have are tailor-made for parents because I told you children who live in a safe family will thrive and will grow to be better children in the future and even economically support our nation. So what we do is we also have parenting program. We are calling it parenting skills. So we are training parents to be better parents because we have found out we have a system called the Child Protection Information Management System where people report children issues. So last year we received more than 170,000 cases of children. You can call 116. So when you call, we put it in the system, and then we say this case is on this particular issue. So we record those issues, and what is coming out is that parental neglect forms more than 70% of the reasons why those cases are being reported.
So
parental neglect. Issues of child maintenance forms the highest. That means people are not
abandoning their kids. They're not responsible.
Child custody is the top, the second most. And
so parental neglect, then child custody.
Yes. And so there are others now.
And you said 170,000 cases.
More than 170,000 cases.
And you dial just 116 if you have an issue.
You can dial 116, or if it is a WhatsApp, you can do 0722 116 116.
0722 116 116. I think we can have it on the screen. 0722 116 116. Okay.
Yeah. So when you call, we have counselors. So officers are also counselors. They give psychosocial support. A child can say there's something they're going through. A child is able to, maybe they can use their parents' phone. They can say they have a problem. And this we have partnered with an institution called Child Kenya. Child Kenya is part of the institution that is helping us to run this line. So they have also supported us with counselors. But we also have children officers who are trained counselors. They will talk to these children in confidence, and also they go and counsel all the way to the family if there's a problem in that family.
Wonderful.
And then the child will have peace at home. Children who have run from home can be taken back to their families.
So
and we have
reunite the children, eh?
We reunite children with their parents where there are problems, where there's issues of parental negligence. We have gone ahead to use what we are calling an alternative mediation process, where the children officer puts the two parents. We do a joint parental agreement. A joint parental agreement signed by a children officer is as good as what is signed in court. So instead of going all the way to court and fighting magistrate and lawyer and hiring so many people, our children officer will sit with you. If you have issues as a family on taking care of a child, you do an agreement. And that agreement is
as good as a court
yes, and you
out of court settlement.
And if you fail to honor that agreement, then your matter will be taken to the magistrate.
Makofi kwa PS hapo. Hii ni Sema na Spokes. Now that we have heard from the PS and there is so much that the government has done, let's come to you, the audience, and we hear what questions you have for Madam PS, so that then we are able to actually know what is happening. So tuuliza maswali na usiogope, sio lazima ongea kizungu, unaweza kaongea shen kidogo. Hii ni program pia ya my youth, tukua a little bit relaxed kidogo. So who goes first? Please introduce yourself and shoot the question straight to Madam PS Karen Agengo.
Good evening, Madam PS.
Good evening.
My name is Brenda. I only have one question. What steps is the State Department taking to streamline and safeguard the adoption process in Kenya?
Adoption process. So makofi hapo. Let's go to question number 2.
Good evening, Madam PS. My name is Levis, and my question was, you have talked about training parents and matters parental negligence. So how do you identify the parents that need to be trained, and how do you go about the whole training thing? Yeah, thank you.
So about training of parents. Thank you. Next, question number 3, makofi. Question number 3.
Evening, Madam PS. So far, you have already highlighted the benefits of your program or your services, but would it be possible for you to enlighten us on how the government is ensuring that child protection services are also accessible to children across Kenya, including those in remote or marginalized areas?
Thank you very much. What's your name?
My name is Rachel.
Makofi. Let's come to question number 4.
Kutokana na ile swala la
unaitwa nani kwanza?
Nafahamika kama Lamek. Niko na swali moja. Kutokana na ile jambo la uzembe wa wazazi, ni mikakati gani ambayo imewekwa kukabiliana na ongezeko la visa vya unyanyasaji wa watoto hasa vijijini?
Asante sana, makofi. Na swali la mwisho hapa.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Merimela. I am a person with disability. So I wanted to ask about a question on inclusivity. How do you communicate to children, especially when you put that number 116, a child with disability has been violated, like a deaf child has been violated. How do you make sure, what system are you planning to put in place to make sure they can also communicate to you?
Thank you, makofi. Sasa turudi kwa PS aweze kujibu haya maswali matano.
Yeah, thank you very much for the questions. The first one, I'll go to adoption. So adoption is a long process because, number one, there's need to protect the child that you are adopting. So we have come up with what we are calling adoption regulations. Last month, we went through public participation to implement adoption regulations. So we are coming to a close of that process, and very soon now the regulations will be in place. However, currently what is happening is that if you want to adopt, you are allowed to adopt to identify the child. We have a process. The children that are being adopted are the children that mostly have been abandoned, and they're in our children institutions. We have 902 institutions in Kenya with 44,000 children. Some of these children are young. So the very young ones and the ones that have not been first we trace the families of these children. Where we are not able to trace, then a child can be given out for adoption. However, the process that this process requires a lot of vetting of the person that is being taking the child for adoption. So the person will be allowed to stay with the child shortly, like 6 months, as they are being monitored by our children officer. So the adopting parent and our children officer work closely to ensure that this child will be safe. So our children officer will be even visiting the home of this adopting parent. The children officer will get more information. For example, you will need to even say where you work. Somebody even need to provide like bank statement so that it is saying, do you also have income that you can take care of
so
this
it's a very rigorous process.
So it's a process that requires a lot of vetting.
Okay.
And by the time you're being given that baby, you first will take the baby shortly in terms of temporary measure. We are calling it like your foster parent. And then a court process will start.
Okay.
A child can only be declared free for adoption. Usually it takes even 3 years.
So it's a long process.
It takes 3 years because of following up on this person who is adopting the baby, so that we know by the time you are now declaring this child fully adopted, you have known that this child is safe in that family, but you are allowed to go with the baby. You bond, it's called a bonding time. You bond with this baby during this time as you wait for the court to declare the process. So we've come up with regulations and they have now clarified step by step, and we are also hoping that this is going to shorten the process, because we also want these children to have a home and not to stay longer in the children's home.
Let's come to the other 4 questions because of time.
Training parents. Training parents is depends on where we identify there's a problem, a big problem. For example, I told you we have a child in protection information management system. So if this system, we identify that let's say in Kibera there's a problem, or we identify, for example, where we have found there's a problem. Recently, last week I visited Embu, and there's a lot of issues on defilement of children, and so we have a training for parents there, because we want the issue that is coming out is that there's a lot of alcoholism is a problem, so it's affecting the children. So we identify based on where many cases are being reported. We classify the cases by region and where they are being reported, so that will give us where to decide who to train. But we identify those parents and they are taken through a process.
Is there a region that is most affected in Kenya? Have you ranked them?
I don't know if I would announce this, but unfortunately, I found several cases are coming from Central Kenya, but I really, and for children matters, and so we really need to do something.
So
but that is not,
are from that region.
that is majority, but I'm not saying that other parts of Kenya are not having children issues. Children issues is a nationwide thing, and we need to deal with it.
Do you think it's a question of the fact that both parents are now working? Sometimes they leave the children alone, or this neglect is maybe one parent is absent. How is it manifesting?
Okay, I think one of the things that I've told you, I'm finding out that issues of alcoholism is
the biggest challenge,
the children. So if we dealt with that, issues of defilement, like I went to Embu courts and they said most of the defilement cases are coming from issues of alcoholism. So if we dealt with that, even as you know, we have NACADA. We can bring on board NACADA to deal with this. And so again, our children, a majority of the cases are coming from, I think, low low-income persons. So if we also supported these families, I believe we can also reduce problems of children.
Okay.
And so I want to go to child protection services. This, I think I didn't get the question clearly, but you asked how we can enhance child protection in Kenya. So currently, what is coming out is that new issue is on online child protection. Children are getting exposed through use of internet. We have a lot of usage of internet by young children. You know, even if you're in your home and you're having dinner, you find children doing games.
Yes.
But even as they do these games, now they are going through their friends, they get hooked into, even we have young girls who are getting hooked into dating sites. Children in high school are being introduced to dating sites. And so we have come up with a guide. The other day you saw I launched a book which is called Safe Online. At Safe Online we give a guide to children who are young to know how the dangers of internet can expose them to danger. We had a young girl who was in school being lured to by somebody in a hotel, but apparently the girl was introduced by a friend in school. So online child protection is the key thing, and now it's an area of focus for our department, and we want to deal with that cyberbullying and online abuse and sexual abuse. We want to really reduce it, and we are doing a lot of campaigns. This one requires a lot of campaigns. We are talking to people. Then there was the issue of child labor. Unyanyasaji wa watoto.
Kunyanyasa watoto.
Child labor? Yes.
So discrimination and discrimination and misuse and child abuse.
Yeah, so in terms of like child labor, we are clear that any child who is below 18 should not engage in any economical gain work that pays them, because this child should be in school. So the government, in working with the Nkao team, there is supposed to be no child left at home. All children are supposed to be taken to school. So this is to reduce child labor. And when it comes to now a child which is being abused at home, first what our team will do, if a child is in danger, our team will go and take that child. They take them to a rescue center. And you find some parents, once the child is taken, they come crying and say, I want my child. So we take this child to that rescue center, and until you prove to us that this child is safe back at home, then we'll bring back the child with you and reconnect with you.
What about children with disabilities?
So children with disability,
the issue of communication access, 116.
I want to, on the issue of 116, I want to accept that I have identified that is really a challenge on our side, that we have not dealt with it. Because you talked of children who are blind, a child who is not able to report through that 116. So we are going to work on that and see how to include children with disability, especially for visual. Is it
the people who are blind?
Yes.
They are blind children, visually impaired.
We want to look at alternatives for them in terms of reporting, but I want to accept that that is one area that
maybe you can generally comment as we wind up on that section. You can generally comment about what you are doing for children with disabilities.
But for children with disability, we are also supporting, working in conjunction with the National Council for Persons with disabilities, on giving them devices that can support them. And that is one area, there's a budget under that institution that is providing for those devices.
Thank you. Let's begin my coffee PS. Hii ni show ya Sema na Sports. Inaendeleaje? Iko poa? Iko sawa kabisa? Sasa tuende, sasa tumemaliza mambo ya audience, tumeona watu wengine hapa wanatuambia wanaitwa sijui akina Lamek, akina Merimera, wako hapa wengi hapa na Rachel. Sasa tuende upande wa mtandaoni. Tujue what is the internet saying, or rather social media inasema kuhusu nini. Hatuna muda mwingi. We have about 7 minutes left. Over to you, engineer wetu wa mitandao.
Asante sana. PS, kuna maswali matano kutoka kwa mitandao. Tunaanza, swali la kwanza linatoka katika Twitter ambayo ni X siku hizi. Mmoja anaitwa Mwangi Mwananchi 001 kutoka Mathioya is asking, how does the department collaborate with other stakeholders in child protection? Swali la pili kutoka mwanadada anajiita Florence Kirote from Kayole, Nairobi. Anauliza, what is the department role in child adoption and foster care? Swali la tatu,
child adoption and foster care. What is the role of the State Department?
Yes. Yeah. Swali la tatu linatoka pale TikTok kutoka mwanadada anaitwa Sharon Atieno Jessica kutoka county ya Homa Bay. Anauliza, who qualifies for the child welfare program or cash transfer for orphans and vulnerable children? Swali la nne linatoka kutoka Twitter kutoka Kisauni, ndugu anaitwa Ibrahim Abuga. Anauliza, how can one report child abuse or neglect? Swali la mwisho la tano linatoka katika Facebook. Mmoja wetu anaitwa Kokwet Joseph kutoka Kipkelion West, Kericho County. Anauliza, what services does the department offer to vulnerable children? Thank you very much.
Makofi hapo. Hao ndio wasikilizaji wetu, watazamaji wetu kutoka kwenye all those sijui kama tumepata pia mmoja wa TikTok. Tumesikia hapo kwa sababu hiyo ndio mienendo ya kisasa, na tuko live Y254, tuko live KBC Digital, tuko live katika handle zetu. Spokesperson GOK iko very active pia kwenye TikTok yetu, tuko hapo live, tuko pia live mahali kote tu ambako tunaendelea. Kwa hiyo kwa sasa, over to you, PS. We have some few minutes where you can answer those 5 questions in a nutshell.
So in terms of collaboration on child protection, we collaborate with the judiciary. That is one of our partners. And also we have other partners who are in the child protection system. We call them, most people know them as the non-governmental organizations. So what happens, like this week I went to Embu, and at Embu Law Courts, our department has collaborated with them to come up with a child-friendly court. So we have children who are acting as witnesses. If a child is abused, and so there's a case in court, and this child is supposed to be protected so that the person who has done something to this child does not see them. So we have collaborated with them to make a court-friendly, child-friendly, in a way that the identity of the child will be protected, and the child can easily now talk freely in court. So that is a collaboration that we have done, and we also have other institutions. I talked of like Child Kenya, Child Fund Kenya, that is helping us to provide psychosocial support for children who have been who have gone through issues of abuse. And so in Embu, if you go there, you will think you are in a playroom, but it's a courtroom where children matters are being discussed. And so judiciary is our major partner, because all children matters end up in court. And so they need, our children officer will do a report in court, and the judiciary will help us to dispense justice for these children. In terms of adoption, the role of the department, I said, is to ensure the person receiving the child is properly vetted, and there is a monitoring of the person taking this child to ensure the child is going to live in a safe society. We also have the National Council for Children Services. This is a regulatory institution that is under the State Department, and the role of that institution is to regulate all adoption societies. We have adoption societies in Kenya. Adoption societies is where you will go first to when you want a child. They work with the children homes to identify a child. So they help you to identify a child that is almost looking like you, so that they match. They have a skill for matching how the child looks like you. But they do not work alone. Our department, through the children officer, will ensure that this adoption society works within the framework of safety for the child and also the national
We are
council.
short of time, PS. Maybe you can finish there. Is it there?
Who qualifies for cash transfer are extremely poor persons. I said currently we are using the orphans and vulnerable children. Children from very poor families, their parents do not have any income, and they will be supported. And to report child neglect, I said use 116. 116. Yes. And again, identifying who is vulnerable. Vulnerable is you. If we are talking of orphans, that's the basic thing. You don't have any parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very
death
simple.
certificate.
You don't have any parents, death certificate.
Death certificate.
So now, PS, in 1 or 2 sentences, what is your concluding remarks?
So my concluding remarks is that this week is really important for us. The week of Day of African Child. Today we celebrated it and it was a success. We are happy that the First Lady graced the occasion, and that shows how important she really means well for these children. Vice our First Lady of the Republic is the voice for children. Yes. And she exhibited that by personally coming to grace the occasion today, and we really appreciate so we want to assure children of Kenya that we in government, including the new PS, we are there to take care of our children, as has been shown by our First Lady of the Republic, and we will ensure no child is left behind. Our children should live in a safe society.
Thank you very much. Makofi, Sema na Sports. Kuja simama hapa. I want you to face that camera, okay? And say, mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo. Je, wewe. Then mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo daima. Let's go. Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo. Je, wewe. Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo daima. Sema na Sports. Till next time, enjoy.
Nineteen nations will compete in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania 2024, which will be staged from 2nd to 30th August 2025. Amongst the 4 groups in the tournament A to D, Kenya is pooled in Group A, together with Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, and Zambia.
Algeria from the set piece, the header is on target, but it's saved.
This unique competition featuring the best locally based players from across the continent definitely has something for everyone. Just bring your A game as you let it flow live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Friday night.